Lieutenant Serachun knew something was wrong the moment she tasted the water. There was a faint, metallic bitterness beneath the usual mineral flavor, almost imperceptible. Almost. She was 3 days into a solo reconnaissance mission on Kepler 442b, monitoring a Zathari raiding camp that had been hitting human supply convoys. The mission was simple. Observe, record, report. Don't engage. But as she set down her canteen, she felt a prickle of unease. Someone had found her hide site. Sarah checked her weapon. The forest around her remained quiet too. Quiet. The native bird analogs that had been chirping all morning had gone silent. She activated her helmet's threat detection system. Nothing. No heat signatures. No movement. Then the dizziness hit. A wave of vertigo that made the world tilt. "Oh, you've got to be kidding me," she muttered, instantly recognizing the symptoms. Zathari. Neurotoxin. They must have dosed her water supply while she was on patrol. Her vision blurred at the edges. The vibrant green of the alien jungle, fading to a dull gray. Through her fading consciousness, she heard them approaching, the distinctive, sharp clicking sounds of Zathari communication. They emerged from the foliage, 7 of 10 their insectoid bodies, moving with a predatory grace that sent a shiver down her spine. The lead warrior, identifiable by the red markings on his carapace, chittered something that her helmet's translator rendered in a robotic voice. The Death Worlder falls. Easier than expected. Sarah tried to reach for her rifle, to fight back, but her muscles wouldn't respond. The poison was fast. She'd give them that. Her last conscious thought before darkness took her wasn't fear, but pure, bureaucratic annoyance. Now she'd have to file a lengthy incident report about operational security failures. Then she slept. The Zathari war leader, Crixtel, stood over the fallen human with a sense of grim satisfaction. The Death Worlders, these terrifying creatures from the Sol system, had a reputation for being nearly impossible to kill. Clearly, those stories were just exaggerated propaganda. 1 dose of the most potent neurotoxin, and the creature had dropped like any other species. "Strip her equipment," he ordered his subordinates. "Command will want to study Death Worlder technology." His soldiers approached cautiously. Even seemingly dead, humans had a reputation that inspired fear. One of them clicked nervously, pointing a clawed appendage. "Wait," he chittered. "Is she breathing?" Crixtal moved closer, his multiple eyes narrowing. The human's chest was indeed rising and falling. Slowly, but steadily. "Impossible," Crixtal hissed. "That dose would kill a Borthok war beast, twice her size." "Should we administer another dose?" one of the soldiers asked. Crixtal considered it for a moment. "No. She's clearly dying. The poison is just taking longer with this Death Worlder physiology. Let her suffer." He turned back toward their camp, confident in his victory. "Post." "A guard. I want to know the exact moment she finally expires." Sarah woke up angry. Her internal chronometer told her she'd been out for 4 hours. 4 hours. The Zathari neurotoxin, a substance supposedly lethal to every known form of complex life, had given her what amounted to a really aggressive nap. She sat up slowly, taking a mental inventory. Headache, dry mouth check. Mild nausea check. The lingering bitter taste of alien poison, definitely check. But she was alive, she was mobile, and now she was extremely irritated. Her equipment was gone. They'd taken her rifle, her pack, her helmet, everything except the combat knife she kept strapped inside her boot. Amateurs. Sarah stood, stretched her stiff muscles, and began moving silently toward the Zathari camp. Her helmet's GPS had been stripped, but they hadn't even bothered to move her far. Why would they? They thought she was dying. The camp came into view through the trees. A quick count revealed 23 hostiles. Security was light. They seemed to be celebrating something, probably her impending death. Sarah allowed herself a small, cold smile. It wasn't a nice smile. The guard posted to watch her body never saw her coming. He was probably bored, expecting a long, uneventful watch over a corpse. One quick, precise motion, and he was unconscious on the forest floor. Sarah relieved him of his weapon, a plasma rifle, nice, and his communication device. Then she got creative. 15 minutes later, she'd sabotaged every power cell in the camp, rigging them to overload simultaneously on her command. Another 10 minutes were spent finding the perfect vantage point, overlooking the chaotic scene she was about to create. As a final touch, she activated the camp's own distress beacon, the one they used to call for reinforcements, and set it to broadcast on all frequencies, creating maximum confusion. When the blaring alarm sent the Zathari scrambling to figure out what was happening, Sarah triggered the overload. The explosions weren't massive, but they didn't need to be. Chaos erupted as equipment sparked and blew apart. Small fires started, and the raiders ran in every direction, trying to respond to multiple emergencies at once. From her hidden position, Sarah began picking them off methodically. The plasma rifle had excellent range and accuracy. Crickstall, the war leader, burst from his command tent, trying to organize a defense against an enemy he couldn't see. Then he saw her, standing at the edge of the camp, wreathed in smoke, holding one of his own rifles. She was very much alive, and his mandibles opened in pure shock. "How?" he clicked, his voice a mixture of disbelief and terror. "You should be dead." Sarah chambered another plasma round, the weapon humming with power. "Yeah, about that," she called out, her voice calm. "Humans have this fun little quirk called metabolic diversity. What's lethal to your species might just give one of us a bad headache." She took aim. "Also, we have really aggressive livers. Mine's been breaking down toxins since I was 16 and stole my dad's whiskey." But the neurotoxin Kriegstell began, still unable to process what he was seeing. "Made me sleepy," Sarah cut him off. "Which is unfortunate for you, because I get cranky when I don't get my full 8 hours." She fired. 20 minutes later, the camp was secure. Sarah stood among the ruins, collecting her gear and cataloging the intelligence data she'd recovered. Her commanding officer's voice crackled to life over her newly restored comlink. "Lieutenant Chun." "Report. Mission successful, sir," she replied calmly. "Enemy camp neutralized. 23 hostiles captured or eliminated." There was a moment of static-filled silence. "Captured Orchun. Your mission was reconnaissance only. What happened?" "Yes, sir. But they poisoned me, which technically counts as first contact gone hostile, and per regulation 7-4, that allows for an appropriate and proportional response." Another long, heavy pause. "Did you just quote regulations to justify going Rambo on an entire raiding camp?" "I prefer to think of it as aggressive napping, followed by proportional response." "Sir? Are you injured, Lieutenant?" "Mild headache, sir. Some nausea. Nothing a couple of ibuprofen won't fix. They poisoned you, and you have a headache." The commander's voice was flat with disbelief. "Yes, sir, Chun. When you get back, you're teaching a course on human toxin resistance at the academy." "Looking forward to it, sir." Chun bowed. She looked around the smoldering camp one last time. Kriegstell and his surviving warriors were secured, ready for pickup and interrogation. The intelligence gathered here would save countless lives, and all it had cost her was a 4-hour nap. Sarah smiled and started walking toward the extraction point. She was definitely putting this in her report. The Zathari had learned an important and painful lesson today. If you're going to try to poison a human, you better make absolutely sure it works, because if it doesn't, you've just given them time to rest up before they come for you. And nobody wants to deal with a well-rested, highly motivated human soldier with a grudge. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story about humanity's unexpected strengths, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tailies from across the galaxy. See you in the next one.